JR Martinez is a name you have come to know over the past year or so. He is the man who was the winner of Dancing with the Stars, the Grand Marshal of the Tournament of Roses Parade, the actor, and the Oprah guest. But that's only a part of his story. JR was a high school football star who dreamed of the NFL, but an injury cut that dream short.
What happened?
Well, I joined the United States Army right after high school. I was 19 years old, and there were several reasons for me joining. It would be an opportunity for me kind of to be on my own, to be independent, to travel the world. 9/11 happened the year before. It'd be a way for me to contribute and give back to the United States. And I joined in September 2002. January, I was assigned to my unit. March, I deployed. I was 19 years old.
Young, cocky, nothing's gonna happen to me, very naive, even though, I tell people, even though I raised my right hand and I understood that war was a possibility, I never thought it would be my reality.
Yeah, you don't think that when you're 18, 19, 20.
Of course not.
I joined as an infantryman, which infantry, for a lot of you that don't know, infantry is front lines. Infantry is combat. That's what infantry is. And my plan was simply to do 3 years in the Army.
But on April 5th of 2003, I was driving a Humvee through the city of Karbala when my front left tire went over a landmine, and
boom! Literally, my life changed. What happened was the front left tire of our vehicle ran over a landmine, which is a bomb that's buried under the ground. And when pressure's applied and then released, it detonates. It detonates. And it detonated, and we had ammo. We had extra fuel in case we broke down. We had our personal gear. From the explosion, the other 3 guys were thrown out of the vehicle, all walking away with different types of injuries, but nothing too severe. But on the other hand, in the mix of when the other vehicles were getting out to try to find these other guys and get everybody together and to make sure everybody's okay, they said, "Where's Martinez? Where's Martinez? We're missing Martinez." Martinez is trapped inside of the Humvee in the driver's seat, and he can't get out, and the truck is now engulfed in flames.
What happens at a moment like that? Is it slow motion? What's happening to you?
You hear a lot of different types of stories from a lot of people that go through things like this. And for me, it was like 2 things. It was one, it slowed down. The time just slowed down, and it felt like I was in that vehicle for hours and hours and hours. But at the same time, because I had 3rd-degree burns, my tendons and a lot of my nerves kind of just were shot. So the majority of the pain that I was feeling at that moment was coming from my face.
I thought I was gonna lose my life. I thought every plan, every goal, every dream that I had for myself completely just went up into smoke. I screamed and I yelled at the top of my lungs for someone to please pull me out. It's no different than me being mic'd and all of you can hear me, and me screaming and saying, "Please come up here, something is wrong with me, help me," and nobody comes up here.
Help! Right. And it was hard for me to yell, and in between every single yell, I was, because I had broken ribs. I couldn't really get air.
Breathing that,
and I'm breathing the
heat
smoke,
and the smoke,
which was doing even more damage.
You lose hope, and I lost hope, and I thought I was gonna die when all of a sudden my sergeant comes and pulls me out of the vehicle.
How long were you in a coma?
I was in a coma for almost 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks, and the last words that I said to my mother before I went to Iraq, of course I was 19, I said, "Don't worry, they can't stop me. One way or another, I'm gonna come back home." And so when I came out of my coma, the first words to my mother, I said, "See, I told you they couldn't stop me," and I told her I loved her. And
And then from there, the next day, he came back into my room, and he came to the foot of my bed, and he said, I want to tell you about the new plan. I want to tell you about our new goal, the new day-to-day plan that's going to be carried out every single day. He said, at 7:30 in the morning, your nurse is going to come in and your nurse is going to feed you. After that, your nurse will put you on a shower bed and take you to the shower and bathe you. And I'm thinking to myself, I remember just yesterday being young, athletic, and strong, and able to do anything that I wanted to do. And now you're telling me I can't even pick up the remote to the TV and actually change the channel. I can't walk across the room. I can't go to the bathroom by myself. I can't button up my shirt and get dressed by myself. I can't feed myself. I can't bathe myself. What is this? I fell into this deep depression, and I was angry. I had regret. I used to tell everybody that would come into my room, I would have been better off if you would have just left me in the truck. After 2 weeks, my mom came into my room, and she said, "You have a lot of things to learn in life, JR, but the one thing that you're going to learn is that no matter who is in your life, for whatever reason, They're going to be in your life for who you are as a person and not what you look like. And that was something that was really sharp about those words, and it really stuck to me. And I said, you know what, Mom, you're right. I don't know what sense all of this makes, but I'm just going to keep it moving. And so every day, you know, my goal was to be as positive as I could be and to have the best attitude when I wake up in the morning, when I went to bed at night, you know, and that was my goal. And I believed that if I did that every single day, that over time I would be able to see a new long-term goal. I would be able to have a new reasoning of what I was going to do with my life, a future.
I had to have these conversations with myself and say, when I would have these moments of being in my room, in this dark room, and I would cry, and I would just be so angry,
all alone,
clench
angry.
my
Why
teeth,
did this happen to me? So,
you know, grinding my teeth, and just so angry, and I couldn't do anything about it. And in the midst of all of that, I would then connect with myself.
Right.
And I would be present in that moment, in that feeling, and I would think to myself, this can't be it. Like, the life isn't this cruel, well, it's just gonna give this to me and this is it. Like,
Yeah, there's a reason this
there's
is happening.
something else. And after a few minutes, I would literally, like, I would tell myself that, and I would say, walk out of that door, out of my apartment, out of my barracks room. And that's literally what I would do. I would kind of wipe it off and just walk out. And just by walking out, I ran into someone, distracted me, someone shared something with me.
Top of the clock, there's a 12, right? So let's say, for example, 12 is a good time in your life. Everything's going great. Your boyfriend, your girlfriend, everything's awesome. You got all your friends. You know, people are liking your post on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Everything is great in your world. But then you look at 6. 6 is at the bottom. All of a sudden, people deleted you on Facebook. No one's liking your Instagram picture. No one's retweeting your post. Your boyfriend and girlfriend, you're not doing so good. Maybe your friends are not liking you for the moment. Whatever it is, my life is horrible. That's what you think. That's your life at 6. But if you notice, the hand goes around and around and around. Now, why is it able to do that? Well, because there's batteries in the clock that work, that keep pushing the hands to get back to 12 to a good place. So the point is this: when you find yourself at 6, when you find yourself in a bad place in life, you have to put the batteries in the clock. You have to believe, you have to stay positive, you have to have hope, and you have to continuously make the right choices. And if you do that, doesn't matter if you're 6. Apparently, by doing all of that, you'll slowly get back to a place where you're now getting to a good place in your life.
And it happened when 7 months after I was injured, I was an outpatient. And one day I was asked to visit a patient who had just arrived and was having a hard time. And I remember walking into this young man's room, and you know, he was just in a very dark place. And I talked to him for about 40 minutes. And then I said, hey, I'll come back tomorrow and check on you. And right before I walked out of the room, I stopped and I looked back into the room. And when I looked back into the room, like, when I walked in, the lights were off. When I walked out, he had lights on, and he had the curtain open, and so sun was coming in. And something so simple says so much that I gave him hope. I gave him light. This dark place that he was in. And from that day on, I started visiting patients every single day around the hospital. A year after my injury, I'm now involved with a few nonprofits, because now I start to develop this passion. I start to develop this hunger, this new drive to want to help people. And it started off with troops. And as the more I did publicity and the more I talked about the nonprofit, people would reach out to me and say, we want you to come speak. And I would say, speaking? How long do you want me to speak for? And they'd say, 30, 45 minutes. I cannot talk for 30 or 45 minutes. You guys know I can talk for 30 or 45 minutes. So I finally stepped up to the stage, I grabbed the mic, I shared my story, and then when I got off the stage, I felt this reward that was just so gratifying, and it was amazing, like, to get the feedback that I received after every speaking engagement. And then all of a sudden I said, I want to be a motivational speaker. That's what I want to do with my life. And not only just do it, but I want to be the best that I can be. Hold on, I'm an overachiever. I actually wanted to see if I could be the best motivational speaker out there on the market. That was my goal in 2005, 2 years after I was injured. I got out of the Army in 2006, and I went on to do it, and it wasn't easy. It was tough. It was hard to break into it. It was hard for people to say, let's give this guy an opportunity to stand in front of our audience, our attendees, and let him share. But then in 2008, I got this email to go audition for a role on a show. And I just shared a little bit of my story with you, and I never shared that I wanted to be an actor. I thought of being an actor, and here I was getting this opportunity, and I say, what do I have to lose? Let me go audition. So I go and audition, and they tell me I get the part, and it's a show called All My Children. Anybody? Yeah, you're out there. So I get this part on All My Children, and I asked them, how long is my character on? And they said, it's going to be a 3-month role. And I'm thinking to myself, hey, I didn't really watch soap operas, but I know 3 months is a lot of time. So all of a sudden I went from 3 months to now I was committed, I was dedicated, I worked hard every single day. I had passion, and I went into it every single day with wanting to learn more and more and more. It just learned, because that's what life is about. Learning does not end when you get your associate's or bachelor's degree. It ends, when your life ends, you continue to learn every single day. Each breakout session, each day that you're here, each day that you're in your profession, each new patient that you have, you continue to learn. And I was learning every single day. Because I did that, I took a 3-month role and was able to turn it into a 3-year role. And then after that, last year, I got the opportunity to be on Dancing with the Stars. It goes to show that when you have support, when you have people that believe in you 100%, the sky is the limit.
At the end of the day, aside from all of this, I think that's the one thing that I want my daughter, who's now 6, but I want her when she's older to say that my dad, his legacy and all he wanted to do was help empower people and help save people and get people to live and not just be content with being alive, but actually live.
There's not really much I can say, to be honest with you. But one thing I can say is that my scars are a message. My scars in itself are a voice, but not just mine, but those out there that have the visible ones. But it's important for myself, it's important for Paul, it's important for Brian Williams, it's important for Van, it's important for that young man that was on the railroad just having a great time and all of a sudden his world got turned upside down. It's important for all of you that have served and to continue to fight that battle every single day to continue to be a voice, because there are thousands of troops out there that have the scars on the inside that none of us, including myself at times, you don't even see. But as long as we're a voice, no matter what your platform is, I guarantee you, we will continue to help